Welcome back to the series. We're setting up Centrify Identity Service for provisioning and user role mapping after setting up Federated SSO. In the previous video, we installed Centrify Identity Service. And depending on where you're coming from, you're installing this in your sandbox or in your development instance or in your sandbox production or production instance from the ServiceNow store or the application was provided to you. There's 3 steps to configuring this application. The way it works, it requires an account that has a particular set of minimum rights to be able to provision users and roles. And we're going to first do some configuration in the ServiceNow side. Then we'll go to the Centrify Identity Service side, and then we'll do some testing. So the first thing is to set up the user. For this, we're going to go to the filter navigator. We're going to type users. And we're going to go onto users administration. And I'm going to use the defaults here. Typically, when you're setting up a service account, it has to be aligned with your service account policy, right? So in this particular case, I'm going to use what is specified by the documentation. It doesn't have to be exactly like that. Only the roles have to be the same. So I'm going to use same name just for consistency. So ID service. I can provide an email account. And I want to give it a password. Like I said here, typically what you want is to comply with your password policy and also your service account password policy. Right? In this case, I can do submit. And I need now to provide the user with a role, right? And in order for me to do this, I have to go back to the user here and scroll down to the role sessions. So I'm going to press edit once I get the form loaded. And we're going to provide a role within the Centrify application. It starts with X_CENNR3. So the collection is X_CEN. That should filter. And this is the role right here. I'm going to go ahead and press this arrow, and I'm going to press save. This will provide the user with some additional fields or additional roles, right? Now what this is done, now I need to modify one of the system tables. It's kind of like extending the schema. So I'm going to press tables. Actually, not here. And I'm going to go to system tables, system definitions. I'm going to leave because I typed something here that I should not have typed. So in here, I'm going to search for test, and it is going to be user role. So what we're doing is user role has a state, and we're going to add an additional state. So when I click on user role, we're going to click on state. And by the way, all the steps are spelled out in the application help. And I'm going to scroll down to choices. So I need to add an additional choice, and I'm just going to verify here. The additional choice is inactive, the label and the value is inactive. So I'm going to press new. And the label is inactive, as well as the value. So I'm going to submit. And then update. So there are other optional steps that you can do, right? I'm gonna leave this to you, but we should be fine to test the basic provisioning at this point. All we need to do is complete the setup on the Centrify side. We will do that in the next